Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Boys in Blue. This is episode 9. This is going to be just a little bit of a different video, kind of a montage video, because the end of the ranked program in the World Series pack is 99 overall closing pitcher Eric Gagne. We're going to go ahead and get this pack at the 100 points in this program. Currently we're at 37, like you can see in that top left corner. So we've got a lot of games to go ahead and play, and this is the only Dodger Diamond that I do not have. So we're going to call on this episode the Grind for Gagne. So it's going to be kind of just a montage video of me playing through a lot of ranked games. You'll go ahead and see a couple of the highlights of the games. We'll save up all these packs and eventually open them in a pack opening. And at the end of it, we'll hopefully have earned the 99 Eric Gagne. So yeah, like I said, you're just going to see some montage highlights of these games. I'll go ahead and probably do like a little bit of a voiceover to kind of walk you through them. Yeah, so that's going to go ahead and do it for the intro. Let's go ahead and hop into these games. Hopping into game number 1 here, and starting in the top of the 5th inning, Mike Piazza crushes a ball into center field for a 1-out hit against 95 overall Patrick Sandoval. Duke Snyder will follow that up with a single of his own into right field. Miguel Vargas will get the bases loaded for Will Smith with only 1 out thus far. Our opponent goes to the pen to bring in Ryan Presley, and I know it's a little cheeky to do this, but I decided to lay down a bunt for a run instead of risking a double play ball to end the inning and not get a run in. We don't score any more runs right there, and to this point in the game, I've pitched pretty well with Julio Urias. Through 6 innings, we've been able to hold him to only 1 hit and no runs with a couple of strikeouts. Jumping to the bottom of the 8th, however, with 2 outs, we gave up a solo shot to Lars Nootbaar to tie up the game. With a tied game, we find ourselves in extra innings and unable to bring in that runner from second in the top of the inning. On this ground ball that brought the runner over to third, I messed up on the throwing meter and the runner was safe at first as well. And this, unfortunately, was the deciding factor in this game. If that mistake hadn't have happened there would have been 2 outs at this point, and that ground ball would have been an easy out to push it to the 11th. However, he just barely beats out the double play opportunity, and that runner from third comes in to win the game. Jumping into game number 2, looking to bounce back, we give up a first pitch home run to Robinson Cano from Walker Buehler in the top of the first. Not the way I wanted to start this game for sure. No further damage was allowed by Buehler, and moving into the bottom of the second with 1 out, Freddie Freeman absolutely demolishes this ball to center field to tie the game at 1. In the top of the 4th, my opponent takes the lead right back with a solo shot off the bat of Manny Machado. In the bottom of the 6th, Justin Turner gets on a ball and takes it deep to the left field seats to tie the game at 2, his first homer on the team. Following that homer, Trace Thompson in a 1-ball, 2-strike count hits an absolute moonshot to take the lead and record his first homer as well. The way we were starting to hit the ball scared our opponent, and he ended up quitting, giving us the win with a score of 3-2 in the 6th inning. In game number 3, we were dealing with Kershaw in the early innings, and although I had no runs at this point, I was getting a few hits in the first 2 innings, and I think he wanted nothing to do with Kershaw's dominance on the mound, so we got the win on a quit, even though the score was 0-0. Game number 4, facing off against Steven Strasburg of the Nationals, Steve Finley gets us going early with an extra base hit in the left field. With 2 outs, Mookie Betts steps up to the plate and rips one down the line to bring in that first run of the game with a double of his own. In the bottom of the 2nd, Piazza gets us going early with the base hit in the center field, and once again, our opponent didn't want to handle the boys in blue, so we get the win on a quit in the 2nd inning, up 1-0. Game 5, and our opponent is rocking an all-Mariners team, but once again, not even 1 pitch into the game, he quits. 4 quit wins in a row. With 4 quick quits in a row, I was afraid I would match up with someone who was an absolute nightmare to play against, and boy did it happen. Our opponent is 11-0, and I have never heard such loud contact coming off of the bat like I did against this guy. So yeah, we lost. Moving on from that slaughtering I just took, this is game 7. We've got Urias back on the mound, and if you didn't know, it turns out Mike Trout is a seriously good hitter. And so is Eugenio Suarez. Oh, and that Julio guy is pretty good too. We did end up allowing another run, but other than that, there wasn't really much else to this game, especially for me. I did not play well, and we ended up losing 5-0, only getting 2 hits in this game. Looking to get back in the win column, we've got runners at the corners in the bottom of the first with 1 out for Mookie Betts. He drills a first pitch fastball but straight to a glove. It will, however, serve as a sac fly and bring in a run. Paul Goldschmidt did not like the score, and he decided to take matters into his own hands, crushing a ball to center field that just got over the wall to tie the game. Not only did Goldie tie the game, he later on took the lead on another solo shot. Oddly enough, my opponent paused the game and offered me a friendly quit, which was odd to me. Looking back at it now, maybe he had to leave or something, but I said no, and he just quit out completely, giving me the win. A very undeserving win for me, as I was not playing very well, but all we can do is move on to the next one. In Game 9, our opponent has us in Coors Field, and Justin Turner gets us going with a double against Pablo Lopez that was followed up with an RBI single from Trace Thompson. I had a weird moment in this at-bat with Bryce Harper. He hit a ball deep to right field that with the ball icon shows that it's playable, so I figured this would just be our out number 3 and we'd move on, but as the ball kept carrying, that ball icon disappeared, and it really threw me off, hence my awful throwing meters, giving up an inside-the-park home run for Harper. The tie game would be lost with an RBI double from Salvador Perez, and it would be extended from a monster home run from Yu Chang. Our one run in this game would be all that we would achieve despite our 6 hits. Double digits, game number 10, and we're facing Bumgarner. Finley gets us a lead-off hit on a ball hit weakly in the left field. We would be scoreless for not much longer, as JT crushes a sweeping curve that just landed right in the middle of the plate for a 2-run home run. Things wouldn't stay scoreless for long for my opponent, however, as he crushed a double into left field that would score 1. He then put down a great bunt to score another, but didn't plan out his base running very well, and it led to a double play. After allowing a couple runs, Will Smith starts us off right with a single in his center field. Trying to avoid a double play, I bunted him over with Finley to bring up the lefty crusher, that is, Justin Turner, and crush the lefty he did. His second 2-run home run of the game. With a runner on third, Mookie Betts extended our lead with an RBI single in the bottom of the 6th. As we inched closer to the end of this game, our opponent was losing patience and decided to end things by quitting, giving us the win, 5-2. Moving on to game number 11 of the video, our opponent has us in Coors Field, and things didn't really get going until the bottom of the 5th inning, where we gave up a leadoff triple to Lee Lin. Lin would be brought in just a few pitches later off a sac fly from Lars Nootbaar. Moving to the top of the 6th, our scoring would finally get started with a blast from Miguel Vargas to then be followed up with a back-to-back homer from Will Smith. In the bottom of that same inning, our opponent would tie the game with an RBI double from Nelson Cruz. We weren't quite done with our home runs, as Freddie Freeman wanted to get in on the fun with a solo shot of his own. Duke Snider would also connect in the following inning to increase our lead with a solo shot. With a runner on second and 2 outs, Manny Machado said no more and tied the game with a home run in the bottom of the 8th. Unfortunately, this wouldn't be the only runs he would score, as I botched a ground ball 3rd out opportunity, and he sent Bryce Harper from second all the way home, and I did not react in time, giving him the lead. We had a chance in the 9th, but I blew it, leading us to another loss. In the next one, we gave up an early lead for my opponent with a 3-run home run off of the bat of Johnny Bench, the Cincinnati Reds legend. That lead would be extended from a Nolan Arenado home run in the 4th, and Arenado would pick up another RBI in the late innings with a single. In the bottom of that inning, Mookie connected on a ball and drove it into the gap for an RBI double. We wouldn't go scoreless in this game, but we would end up losing it 7-1.
He's out.
We're past a dozen games at this point, and Duke Snider gets us going early with a solo shot in the bottom of the 3rd. The game would be tied in the 6th with an RBI single from Teoscar Hernandez. I bet you didn't think we'd get that run right back, but we did, thanks to Steve Finley getting one over the wall in right field. We're 3 outs away from a win, and Teoscar Hernandez is leading it off for my opponent, and this at-bat was a battle. Evan Phillips, replacing our starter, unfortunately gives up a home run in a 3-2 count. We battled in extra innings for a while, but my weak bullpen could not handle his elite offense, and we lost this game 5-3. Moving into our final game here, I wanted to do my best to come out on top. We were able to get ahead early on our opponent and grow that lead even further. I did eventually let go of that lead, but my opponent started to throw some bad pitches and the offense came to life.
Steve Finley. The designated hitter, Will Smith. The second baseman, Mookie Betts.
Shout out to my opponent for sticking with this one and not quitting. A lot of these fastballs and sliders I crushed are right down the middle, which leads us to a victory with a score of 11-4.
He's out.
With that win, we have secured the World Series pack from the ranked program, securing us 99 Dodgers closing pitcher, Eric Gagne. Thanks for watching this, guys. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button and subscribe for more Boys in Blue episodes, pack openings, and other content. I'll catch you in the next one.